My child, you're exhausted, I know. You've tried to hold everything together, even when the weight keeps increasing. Every time you stand up, another challenge appears. You've wondered if it's worth it, if all this effort even matters. You've questioned why your life feels like an endless test. But listen carefully. You were never meant to walk through life without struggle. Ease doesn't build strength, and comfort doesn't reveal courage. The path I've given you isn't punishment. It's preparation. Every difficulty is shaping you into the person you were meant to become. You think you're alone, but you're not. I've been there through every fall, every quiet cry, every time you thought, I can't do this anymore. You may not see me, but I've never left. When you lost everything you thought you needed, I was clearing space for what truly matters. When the world turned its back, I stood right behind you. You look at others and wonder why their journey seems easier. But their lessons aren't yours. Your pain, your doubts, your battles, they're not signs of failure. They're the proof that you're still fighting, that you haven't given up. You ask why I allow hardship. Because without darkness, you wouldn't learn to recognize light. Without resistance, your spirit would never grow stronger. You're being built, not broken. Every trial is your teacher. Every setback, your training ground. So stop asking, why me? Ask instead, what is this trying to teach me? You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And one day you'll look back and realize, it all made sense. Do not give up. You're far closer to becoming who you're meant to be than you think. You've carried so much alone that you've forgotten what it feels like to rest. But you don't have to carry it all by yourself anymore. I have walked beside you from the very beginning. When you felt invisible, I was watching. When you felt unheard, I was listening. When you fell, I was the one who gave you the strength to rise again. You think strength means never breaking, but true strength begins when you allow yourself to be honest, when you stop pretending you're fine and admit that you're tired. That's when I can step in. That's when your strength becomes our strength. The world will tell you to rely on luck, talent, and timing. But I tell you, rely on faith, discipline, and surrender. What you can't control, let go of. What you can do it with full heart, and leave the rest to me. You look at the future and see uncertainty. I see direction. You see delay. I see timing. You see silence. I see preparation. When nothing seems to move, that's when I'm working the hardest for you. When everything falls apart, that's where something new begins. So don't mistake my silence for absence. Even when you hear nothing, you are being guided. I gave you strength not for peaceful days, but for the moments that demand everything from you. When you feel like you've reached your limit, remember, you haven't even seen what I placed within you. You were born to face what others run from. You were born to stand when others fall. You were never ordinary. That's why your journey isn't easy. You are being tested because you are being trusted. Every challenge is a sign that I still have a purpose for you. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll see that nothing was wasted. Not a single tear, not a single trial. Everything was part of the design. So stand tall, my child. Do not let fear decide your path. You are stronger than you think, because I walk with you in every step you take. You've spent enough time doubting yourself. Now it's time to remember who you are. The pain you've felt, the confusion you've faced. It wasn't meant to stop you. It was meant to shape you. Every hardship was a lesson in disguise. Every delay, a preparation for what's coming. You were never meant to stay defeated. You were meant to rise wiser, calmer, stronger. Stop seeing obstacles as punishments. They are invitations to grow, to rise, to remember your purpose. Each struggle refines you, like fire purifies gold. Every moment you choose to keep going, even when it hurts, you become unbreakable. You think courage means having no fear. It doesn't. Courage is moving forward with fear still in your heart. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It's the act of choosing to trust anyway. So stop waiting for life to get easier. You weren't created for easy. You were created to fulfill your dharma, to live with purpose, not comfort. When you act with clarity and intention, nothing in this world can shake you. Remember this. What you do is not always under your control, but how you do it always is. The power lies in your effort, not in the outcome. Do your duty with full heart and release your need to control the result. When you attach your peace to results, you'll always be restless. But when you attach it to action, done with integrity, you become free, truly free. Every challenge you face, every fight that drains your strength, is training you to fulfill your higher purpose. You're not here to escape the battle. You're here to master it. Stand firm in what you believe. Hold steady when life shakes you. Because every time you choose purpose over fear, you align with me. You were born for this, not to run, not to hide, but to rise and face what you were made for. The storms you face are not endless. The pain you feel right now is not forever. It will pass, just like every other moment you thought you wouldn't survive. You've been through darkness before, and you're still here. That means you already know how to endure. When everything around you feels unstable, return to what doesn't change. Truth, duty, faith. That is where your peace lives, not in circumstances, but in your steadiness through them. Listen to my words, Arjuna. Strength isn't the absence of pain. It's the calm that stays while pain comes and goes. The wise don't chase pleasure and don't run from suffering. They remain centered through both.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino anityastam stitikshasva bharata.
O son of Kunti, the contact of the senses with the world brings cold and heat, joy and sorrow. They come and go. Endure them bravely, O Bharata. Everything you experience is passing through you. Nothing stays. The joy, the fear, the loss, the victory, it all changes shape. So do not let any of it control you. When life burns, don't curse the fire. Become the flame that cannot be consumed. The same wind that extinguishes a weak lamp only makes a strong one burn brighter. When pressure builds, when people doubt you, when results delay, stay steady. Your calmness is your weapon. Your patience is your power. Do not be afraid of discomfort. It's the teacher that polishes your soul. The more you resist pain, the longer it stays. But when you accept it, when you see it as part of your journey, it loses its hold on you. Remember, endurance is not silent suffering. It's conscious strength. It's saying, "This too shall pass, and when it does, I'll still be standing." You can't control the waves, but you can learn to remain unmoved by their rise and fall. That is true mastery. And when you learn to endure, no storm, within or outside, can shake you again. You've endured long enough to forget what rising feels like. You've been surviving, not living. But now, it's time to rise again. Not because the world is easier, but because you are stronger. You've fallen before, I know. You've been through moments where everything seemed lost, when faith cracked, when motivation died. But tell me, didn't you still wake up the next day? Didn't you still breathe, still move, still try? That spark, that refusal to quit, that's me inside you. You think falling means you've failed. Falling means you fought. It means you had the courage to stand in the first place. Every scar you carry is proof that you chose courage over comfort. Do not hide your scars. They are not shame. They are scripture. They tell the story of a soul that refused to stay broken. Your pain is not punishment. It's the fire that burns away everything that isn't you. It's how I remind you that your strength was never in the body or the mind. It was always in the spirit. You see, growth doesn't come in peace. It comes in pressure. When life presses you, it's not to destroy you. It's to define you. The same mountain that blocks your way becomes the one you stand upon once you climb it. Do not fear being broken open. Every seed must crack before it grows. Every soul must fall apart before it awakens. That's how I created this world. Not to comfort you, but to awaken you. When the weight feels unbearable, don't run from it. Breathe through it. Face it. Because the strength that emerges afterward, that quiet confidence, that's the moment you meet me. So rise, Arjuna. Not because everything is perfect, not because the path is clear, but because I have called you to rise anyway. You are not your failures. You are not your doubts. You are the fire that outlasts both. And when you stand again, after being broken, tired, and uncertain, that's when your spirit becomes unshakable. Don't wait for the world to be kind to believe in yourself. The world follows the one who keeps walking despite the storm. Rise not for victory, rise for truth. Because when you rise for truth, victory follows. You keep wondering why things take so long, why answers don't come when you need them, why life seems to hold you back when you're ready to move forward. But what you call delay, I call design. You see only the next step. I see the entire path. When I hold you back, it's because I'm protecting you from something you can't yet see. When I close a door, it's because what waits behind it isn't meant for you. You trust the sunrise, even though you can't see it at night. You trust the seasons, even when winter feels endless. So why lose faith in me when I am the one who created both time and light? You think your prayers are unheard because you don't see results. But the moment you asked, I began rearranging the universe around you. You want instant answers, but true faith isn't proven by how fast you receive. It's proven by how long you can wait with peace in your heart. Patience is not standing still. It's moving forward without panic. It's trusting that what belongs to you will find you, not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. So don't chase. Attract, do what's right. Do what's yours to do, and release what isn't. When you act without attachment, every action becomes sacred. You keep asking me, when will it happen? But I ask you, can you trust me until it does? Because if you only have faith when you see results, you don't have faith. You have proof. Real trust is walking blindfolded through the storm, knowing that I'm guiding every step, knowing that even if the path disappears under your feet, I'll still carry you forward. You don't have to understand everything right now. You just have to believe that everything has meaning. The timing, the silence, the waiting, none of it is wasted. Every unanswered prayer is still part of my plan. So don't rush what I'm still preparing. You wouldn't eat fruit that isn't ripe. You wouldn't open a flower that hasn't bloomed. Then why tear open your own destiny before it's ready? Keep doing what's yours to do. Keep walking, even if you can't see the finish line. Because when the time is right, and it will be right, Everything you prayed for will arrive quietly, perfectly, and exactly when it's meant to. And then you'll look back and say, I see it now. The waiting wasn't a punishment, it was protection. You keep fighting the world, Arjuna, but the real battle isn't out there, it's inside you. You think the enemy is circumstance, or failure, or other people, but it's not. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is with your own mind. Your thoughts can be your allies or your captors. They can lift you higher than mountains or drag you deeper than oceans. What you feed grows. Feed your doubts, and they'll chain you. Feed your faith, and they'll free you. There will always be noise, fear, desire, comparison, anger. But the one who learns to command his own mind becomes unshakable. When you control your thoughts, no one can control you. That is the real victory, not conquering the world, but conquering yourself.
Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanaha.
Let a person lift himself by his own self. Let him not degrade himself. For the self alone is the friend of the self, and the self alone is the enemy of the self. Your mind is like a wild horse. If you let it run loose, it will drag you through pain and chaos. But if you learn to guide it, it will carry you to peace and power. You don't need to control the world, just control how you respond to it. That's how you rise above it. No one else can do this for you. Not family, not friends, not even me. I can guide you, but you must take the reins. When the mind obeys the heart and the heart aligns with truth, you become unstoppable. Nothing outside you can disturb what's steady within you. That's the strength I want you to know. A strength that isn't loud, but unbreakable. Stop waiting for motivation. Start choosing discipline. Stop asking for easy paths. Start asking for inner clarity. Because once your mind is steady, even chaos bows before you. When your thoughts wander to fear, bring them back to me. When they drown in anger, anchor them in peace. When they chase illusions, return them to truth. That is mastery, not escaping the mind, but transforming it. You've already fought harder battles than you realize. Now fight the one that matters most, the one within. Because the moment you win that war, no one, nothing, and no storm will ever defeat you again. You've been searching for strength everywhere, in people, in success, in comfort. But strength was never something to find. It was something to remember. You were never weak, Arjuna. You only forgot who you are. You've mistaken exhaustion for failure, silence for absence, struggle for defeat. But I've been shaping you quietly, through every one of those moments. Now, it's time to remember. You are not just a person in battle. You are the battle itself. You are not a lost soul searching for light. You are the spark that lights the darkness. You are not here to escape pain. You are here to transform it. When you stand up again, after falling 100 times, that is not just resilience. That is divinity. Every time you refuse to give up, you align yourself with me, the strength that never fades. You see yourself as small, but you are part of something vast. The same power that moves the stars, that turns oceans, that births dawn after the darkest night. That power breathes within you. You don't have to ask for it. You only have to awaken it. You were born with a purpose that goes beyond survival. You were born to embody courage, truth, and dharma. To stand tall in a world that has forgotten what it means to stand for something. So rise, Arjuna. Not because you're fearless, but because you choose to move despite the fear. Not because you have all the answers, but because you refuse to stop searching. The world doesn't need perfection from you. It needs presence. It doesn't need someone who never doubts. It needs someone who keeps walking even when they do. That's who you are. That's who I made you to be. You are my instrument. You are my reflection. You are my warrior. The purpose I placed within you isn't small. It's not about comfort or applause. It's about truth. And truth demands courage. Courage to stand alone. Courage to keep faith when nothing makes sense. Courage to choose what's right, even when it hurts. So when you lift your head again, when you take that one more step forward, when you speak the truth instead of silence, know this: that's me moving through you. That's your dharma awakening. You are no longer the one who doubts. You are the one who acts, even through doubt. You are no longer waiting for a sign. You are the sign. And once you know that, you stop asking for the world to change. You start becoming the change itself. You've carried the weight long enough. Now listen, my child. Your struggle was never a punishment. It was the path back to me. You kept asking for peace, and I kept sending lessons. You asked for strength, and I gave you battles. You asked for faith, and I gave you silence. Because growth doesn't happen through comfort. It happens when you realize that even in chaos, I never left. You thought I was far away, but I was in every breath that kept you alive when you wanted to give up. I was in every failure that redirected you, in every loss that made space for something better. You are not forgotten. You were never abandoned. Every delay, every pain, every unanswered prayer, they all brought you closer to who you're meant to be. The same way fire tests gold, life tests the soul to reveal what's real and what's temporary. And what's real in you, Arjuna, cannot be destroyed. Do not give up. When the road feels endless, walk slower, but keep walking. When the weight feels unbearable, rest, but don't quit. Because every step you take in faith is still progress. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Every experience, good or painful, was chosen with purpose. Each one has been shaping the heart I'm using to do my work in this world. For those who stay steadfast, I carry their burdens. For those who walk with me, I walk before them. And when you cannot walk at all, I carry you myself. The world may doubt you, but I don't. The world may call you broken, but I call you becoming. You see failure, I see refinement. You see loss, I see clearing. You see endings, I see beginnings. So do not be afraid anymore. You were never walking alone. You never fought alone. You never suffered alone. You were simply learning how to see me in every part of your journey. Now rise, my warrior. Not because the storm has ended, but because you have learned to stand within it. And when you rise this time, rise knowing this: you are unshakable, you are unbreakable, and you are loved beyond measure. When the world says, you cannot, I whisper, you already have. When the world says, it's over, I say, it's only beginning. The night will pass, the light will return, and you, my child, will stand in that light, stronger, quieter, and finally free. Breathe. The battle is not over, but the fear is gone. What was heavy feels lighter now. What once looked like chaos, you now see as order. This moment, right here, is peace. Not the kind that comes from a perfect life, but the peace that comes from finally understanding your place in it. You've walked through fire, and you didn't burn. You've faced storms, and you're still standing. Now you know. You were never the storm's victim. You were its lesson. You don't have to fight every shadow anymore. Just stay awake, stay present. Do what's right, one step at a time. And when you can't see the way ahead, remember, the light doesn't leave, it just waits. Look around you. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are exactly who you need to be. Every scar is now a symbol of wisdom. Every failure is now a foundation of strength. The war outside will never truly end, but the war within can. And when it does, you'll move through this world not with noise, but with quiet certainty. This is what it means to know me. Not to escape life, but to face it with peace, to move through it without losing yourself. So stand once more, Arjuna. Stand not in pride, but in purpose. Stand not to prove your worth, but to live your truth. You don't need to chase victory. You are already victorious. Because you found peace where others found despair. Because you learned to trust when everything said not to. Because you kept walking when giving up was easier. That is triumph. That is dharma. That is freedom. Now go and live as the light you found. Be calm in the noise. Be kind in the conflict. Be steady in the change. And remember, I am within you. I always was, and I always will be. Victory is not something you win, my child. Victory is who you become.